the period since about 2010, 2011 has been a real upswing in economic development, particularly real estate development in New York City. Much has gone on. That continues, though not quite at the same pace as before. Yet there have been a number of things happening in New York City in particular, which really have created opportunities. Certainly a big trend is fueled by millennials and the way they live, which has really altered the landscape of buildings, both residential and office in New York City, and led to a lot of new construction and a lot of retrofitting of current buildings to accommodate the work together, live together sort of lifestyle. Many companies have been altering their spaces to accommodate this sort of really adaptive, different environment. And it has really fueled a lot of development. In addition, in New York City, lots of areas have been opened up for development. Most people have heard of the Hudson Yards area of New York City, which is just going gangbusters in terms of new buildings. You know, there are probably 30 or 40 new buildings at the moment going up there. So it's really the creation of a whole new neighborhood with both office, retail, and residential use. The same is true of some of the boroughs in New York City. Brooklyn is pretty well known as a place that has really exploded in terms of development. And while nothing can continue at the pace it was before, it's still very, very active. Queens seems to be a new frontier. Long Island City in particular has probably almost 50 buildings under construction at the moment. All you need to do is go by it in the 7 train and look out the windows, and it's extraordinary what's going on there. And there's talk now of the southern part of the Bronx really taking off as well. So, you know, while New York City is certainly one of the most developed cities in the world, it's hard to say it's overdeveloped when development just continues at a very, very, very rapid pace. Like anywhere, New York has its own rules, its own way of doing things, and things one needs to know. The key in any real estate, obviously, is location, location, location. We've all heard that. And certainly in New York, that's no different. So understanding the various neighborhoods, understanding you know, what kind of use would fit in where is very important. New York is also an extremely expensive place to build, and people need to realize that. The costs are quite different than building elsewhere, and you know, that sort of thing needs to be taken into account. There are also a level of transaction costs involved in real estate investments in New York that may or may not exist in other places, and they're certainly at the high end. Things like a mortgage recording tax. There's a 3% tax charged on the recording of any mortgage in New York City. What that would mean is if you had a $100 million mortgage, which these days is really not a very big mortgage for a development project, the tax you need to record that mortgage is $3 million itself. So that's quite substantial. There are ways to lessen it, ways to avoid it. Probably not completely, sometimes completely. And those are the things that, you know, an experienced law firm can help you navigate. In addition, in terms of residential development, there are a lot of tax incentive programs that investors can participate in. For example, for subjecting your building to rent stabilization and low income levels, you're capable of getting tax abatements in real estate taxes for a variety of years. The program had been in effect for a long time. It was quite a success, fueled a lot of development. It was stalled in the legislature for a couple of years, so there's been a hiatus with it, but now it seems to be right back on track. My name is Richard Sussman. I'm an attorney in New York City at the firm of Rosenberg Estis. Rosenberg Estis is a boutique real estate law firm operating both in New York City, the United States, and abroad. We have a wide practice within real estate consisting of three main departments. The first department, which I co-chair, is the transactional real estate department, and we do a full range of transactional business real estate representation. We also have a large litigation practice, which is involved in the dispute resolution, federal court, state court, regulatory agencies, and other such forums. The third area that we get involved in is called regulatory administrative law. And that is a complex city and state and federal agency practice that encompasses rent regulation, tax incentive programs, and things of that nature. Our philosophy of practice is to utilize appropriate persons for appropriate tasks. We employ new attorneys, mid-level attorneys, and highly experienced attorneys. In that way, we were able to obtain a cost effectiveness between the rates that large firms can't really achieve. In addition, our fee structure as a boutique firm also allows us to charge rates which are more competitive than large international firms. Should anyone need legal help in New York City, in the United States, or elsewhere, please feel free to give us a call. We can help you in a variety of ways and in a very cost-efficient manner.